All right, let's just jump right in. You hear about AI everywhere, right? But there's this very specific kind of AI that's, well, quietly kicking off a multi-billion-dollar revolution. And it's happening in one of the most complex industries in the world, pharmaceuticals. We're not just talking about any AI, we're talking about intelligent, autonomous agents. And trust me, they are completely rewriting the rules of the game. And look, when I say revolution, I am not exaggerating. Just check out this number. This is the projection for the AI market in pharma manufacturing alone by 2040. We're talking about going from just over $1 billion today to nearly $35 billion. That isn't just growth, That's a total ground-up transformation. Yeah, and this quote from our source material, it really sets the stage for everything we're about to talk about. This isn't just about some new software tool or, a minor bump in efficiency. It's a fundamental rewrite of the entire operating model. Think about it. From the moment a drug is discovered to the second it gets into a patient's hands, everything is changing. So this whole shift actually has a name. They're calling it Pharma 4.0. It's this perfect storm where AI, the Internet of Things, and automation all come together. And the brains of this whole new operation? Well, that's where intelligent agents come in. So what exactly are they? And that's really the key question, isn't it? I mean, the term gets thrown around a lot. But what actually makes an agent intelligent? What makes it so different from the kind of AI we've been using for years? Okay, so here's the deal. The crucial word here is autonomy. See, unlike older AI that just follows these really rigid if this then that rules, an intelligent agent can actually perceive its environment, plan what to do, act on that plan, and then adapt, all on its own. It's not just spotting a pattern, it's actively chasing a goal and learning while it does it. Now, this is where it gets really interesting, because as you can see here, it's not a one-size-fits-all kind of thing. There's a whole spectrum of these agents. On the super simple end, you've got your basic reflex agents. I mean, think of a sensor on a production line that just triggers an alarm if something's wrong. Simple stuff. But as you move up the ladder, they get incredibly sophisticated, all the way to what are called multi-agent systems, which are literally entire networks of agents all collaborating with each other. And that right there, that's where the real power is. Look, having a single agent that can forecast demand is great. It's useful. But the real game changer, it's when you have a whole team of specialized agents. One for scheduling, one for quality control, another for logistics, all working together, almost like an orchestra, to achieve a much bigger goal. Okay, so let's see how this all works in the real world. We'll start inside the factory, where these agents are already making production faster, cheaper, and a whole lot safer. And wow, does this illustrate the impact? Just look at these results from Sipla's Lighthouse factory in India. By using AI agents just for scheduling, they slashed their manufacturing costs by 26%, they cut the time it takes to change over production lines by 22%, and get this, they even cut their greenhouse gas emissions by 28%. These are massive gains across the board. Ready for another mind-blowing number? 50%. Johnson & Johnson used predictive maintenance agents to figure out when machines were going to fail before it happened. The result? They cut their unplanned and very, very expensive equipment downtime in half. And then you've got Pfizer, who's taking this a step further. What they do is create a digital twin, basically a perfect virtual copy of their entire production facility. Then AI agents crunch all the data to find the absolute perfect conditions for making a batch of medicine. They call it the golden batch. From there, other agents watch the live production line and flag any tiny deviation from that perfect recipe in real time. Their goal? A massive 10% boost in yield. And, it's not just about speed and cost. Pharma is one of the most heavily regulated industries on the planet. The paperwork is just immense. Well, now, AI agents are automating that huge compliance burden, everything from writing the standard operating procedures to monitoring processes for mistakes and keeping these perfect, unchangeable, audit-ready logs of absolutely everything. But, making the drug is really only half the battle. Getting it to the right patient at the right time, anywhere in the world, that is a massive logistical puzzle. And here, too, intelligent agents are starting to bring some serious order to the chaos of the global supply chain. Think about it. The old way of forecasting demand was basically just looking at last year's sales and guessing. The new way, you have AI agents that are constantly pulling in real-time data from all over the place. We're talking disease outbreak data, weather patterns in shipping lanes, even geopolitical indicators of instability to create these dynamic, rolling forecasts for every single product. And this is a fundamental shift in thinking. We're moving away from a chain where everyone is kind of stuck in their own little box, just reacting to problems. Instead, we're moving toward a collaborative, predictive network. The big dream here is a multi-agent system where the manufacturer's agent, the distributor's agent, and the shipping company's agent are all talking to each other and coordinating automatically. Of course, the huge challenge is getting them to share data securely. But companies are starting to crack that code. Fujitsu and Roto Pharmaceutical ran a virtual trial of a multi-agent system for their supply chain. And the result, even in simulation? A potential 30% reduction in transportation costs. That's huge. Okay, so the benefits are crystal clear, the technology is real, and the results are well documented. So why isn't every single company doing this? And that brings us to the strategic reality of who's leading, who's falling behind, and what's stopping them. Honestly, this chart pretty much says it all. There is a massive divide. Only about 5% of pharma companies are truly using this tech to get a real competitive advantage. The other 95%? They're still just dipping their toes in the water, just experimenting. And the gap between those two groups, well, it's getting wider, fast. So what do the leaders have that the others don't? They've built a mature architecture that looks something like this. And notice, it's not one giant all-knowing AI. It's more like a layered team of specialized agents. You've got an orchestrator agent that breaks down big goals into smaller tasks, then data agents go out and fetch all the information, analytics agents find the important insights and recommend what to do, all while compliance agents are keeping perfect records, and crucially, there's always a human in the loop for the really tough, high-risk calls. So, why are the other 95% struggling so much? Well, here are the main roadblocks. And it's not just about the tech itself. It's about managing massive organizational change, it's about regulatory hurdles, it's about a shortage of talent. But the single biggest barrier, the one cited by a staggering 80% of companies, is much more fundamental. It's poor data quality and old siloed systems that don't talk to each other. All of this leads to a really clear set of marching orders for any leader who's trying to catch up. First, you absolutely have to build the data foundation first. It's non-negotiable. Second, focus your AI efforts on the high-value areas we talked about, manufacturing and the supply chain. Third, design everything with compliance in mind from day one. And finally, think in terms of these multi-agent systems to build a more resilient operation. And that really is the final, crucial takeaway. This whole transformation, it isn't some far-off prediction for the future. It is happening right now. The leaders are already pulling away from the pack, and they're building their advantage on a bedrock of clean, accessible data. So the real question for you isn't if your organization will need to adapt. It's whether your foundation is ready for an era that's already here.